Julie Newberry's cell phone rang. The caller ID told her that her BF, Marianne Thompson, was calling her. However, all that Julie could make out in between the crying was Eric, that was Marianne's husband, his name, and cheating. Julie said, "Take a breath, try to calm down." All I got out of that was Eric and cheating. It took a minute, then Marianne said, "I think Eric may be cheating on me." Then the crying started again. Julie asked, "Where are you?" "I hear cars and trucks." Again, it took some time to find her friend's location. Marianne said, "Rest area on the way to you. I had to stop, hard to see." "Okay, I found your location," she said. "If you can drive, then there's a truck stop at the next exit. Get there and we can talk. I will look for you in the restaurant." Julie did not want her friend to drive. However, that rest area was one-sided and she would have to drive much longer to turn around and get to her friend. She thought that it was strange that Marianne thought that Eric was cheating. She had not seen that much of the two of them, but it did seem like their marriage was on solid ground. Marianne had returned to St. Paul, and she had gone to Minneapolis after college. Julie told the secretary that she had to go and help her friend, and she left to meet Marianne at the truck stop. Julie pulled into the truck stop, parked her car, and made her way to the restaurant. She saw Marianne and sat down at the table. After ordering coffee, she said, "Keep calm and tell me all about Eric and cheating." Marianne said, "Yesterday, after an out-of-business trip, I found blonde hair on the pillowcase in our bed. Both Eric and I have dark hair." Julie said, "Did you ask Eric about the hair?" "No," Marianne said. "There was also a faint odor of perfume in the room, and it was a scent that I would not wear. I was a few hours earlier than I had told Eric, and he was not home. I called him and he said he was at one of the accounts that he oversaw. He would come home in about 2 hours. When he got home, he seemed to be a lot fresher, as if he had a shower. So, I thought I would wait and see if Eric noticed the scent of perfume. He said nothing about it. I was too upset to ask him then. I left work early and I was on my way to you." "A plan," Julie said. "It does look like something is off. However, he could have a reason if you had asked him, or he could tell a story to cover for what you found. If you are not sure about the other woman, then you need to give him the chance to do it again. I could take some time off from work, get a rental car that Eric would not know, and follow him from his job and see if I can discover the identity of the other woman." Marianne said, "That may work. However, I don't know if I can wait until I need to go out of town." Julie could see the pain on her friend's face. She said, "Your boss Linda has red hair, which more than likely means that she is not the other woman. Talk to her about the problem and ask for time off. Have Linda cover for you if Eric calls." Marianne said, "Let me call Linda." She called into work, and after explaining the problem, Linda gave her the next 2 days off. She said, "Linda, let me have the next 2 days off. I will call Eric and tell him that I have to be out of town for the next 2 nights. After her phone call to Eric, she said, "I told him that I would be home just long enough to pack, as there would be an early meeting and I needed to get a motel room for the night, maybe 2 if the problem takes longer to resolve." Marianne had recuperated to the point that she could return home to pack for the next 2 nights. She thanked Julie for coming up with a plan and agreed to check into a motel room after a quick trip home. It had to appear to Eric that she would be out of town. There was a motel across the intersection, and it was far enough out of town that Eric would not see her car parked at the motel. Eric could not believe that he could be so lucky Marianne would be out of town, and so soon after, just returning from an out-of-town trip. He did push his luck this last time. He could still smell the last of the perfume when Marianne had returned. However, she had not said anything about it. He thought it would be best to just chill out at home tonight. He was planning to enjoy tomorrow night, and to be safer he would check into the no-tell motel. If you had the cash, one could sign in using any name. After saying goodbye to Marianne, Julie made her way to St. Paul. She stopped in at the electric tech shop. They would have the spy gear that she thought she would need. A tracker to put on Eric's car and a video camera that could take low-light photos. Julie went to the block where Eric and Marianne lived and parked where Eric would not be able to see her car and waited for the opportunity to place the tracker on Eric's car. As she was waiting, she saw Eric take a suitcase to his car and put it in the trunk. Strange, she thought. Maybe he was planning to meet up with the other woman and not be home. Well, as long as he goes to bed, I can put the tracker on his car. It took a little over an hour for the lights to go out. She went to his car and placed the tracker under the back of the car. It was magnetic and stuck easily. She had taken a risk using her own car, deciding it was time to get a motel for the night, stopping first to get the rental car at the airport. She could leave her car at short-term parking for the time she would need to have the rental car. After checking into the express motel, she tried out the tracker's GPS. It showed Eric's car and that was over 7 miles away. Got to love this new technology. Line of sight was not necessary. Good, she thought, I can sleep in and just check his location when I wake up. Sleep didn't come easy as this private spy game was exciting. When she got up and made herself a cup of coffee in the room, she missed the free breakfast. Taking care of the other morning stuff, she booted up the tracker's GPS. She was trying to do the math. Miles from home to work, miles from her motel room. He should be 4 miles from her. He wasn't. 8 miles from her and not at work. No time to panic. He could be out on a business call. She called Marianne. Hi, sleep all right? I need you to call Eric at work, and if he is not there, try and find out if he is on a business call. If so, then I can just wait till he moves, and I will know I can follow him then, or I need to get to where he is now. Marianne said, Sure, I will call you as soon as I find out. She made the call. He was out on a call. However, after the business call, he was taking the rest of the day off. She called Julie and gave her the update. Julie said, Okay, he might be planning something as he put a suitcase in his car. Don't know what is in it, laughing, maybe toys. Sorry, I know this is not funny. Marianne said, He might be going to meet the other woman. Julie said, You might be right. I'll check out and follow him. This might give you an answer. No, tell motel. The motel that she did follow Eric to was quite the dump, which also meant that with a little cash she would be able to find out his room number and set up across from him. She set up the camera. $50, but she had the room number and a room across from it. No way would the blonde be able to see Eric without being on camera. She had missed breakfast and was hungry. Lunch was the answer. She left to get a meal. She told Marianne, He is at a motel. I got the camera set up so we may see the blonde. I am sorry, it does look like you did have cause to be concerned. I need to eat and then we will know if she has arrived. The motel did not have a restaurant, so fast food was the best she could do. Getting it to go, she went back to her surveillance. Looking at the room, she reviewed what she had missed. No blonde woman, yet. She turned the camera back on and finished her meal. This must be the boring part of a stakeout. She felt herself getting tired. A nap, and if she showed up the camera would get her. It was dark when she woke up. Okay, no sleep last night. She was glad that she had a low-light camera. She reviewed what had happened while she was sleeping. There she was, the blonde woman was leaving the room. Wait a minute, she never entered the room, yet she was clearly exiting the room. The blonde got into a yellow cab. She went to the motel office and asked how a woman could leave a room without being seen entering the room. The answer was simple: 2 doors. The other door was entered from the breezeway and was off camera. The blonde entered by the unseen door. She had made a mistake. Still, something did not seem right. The blonde woman was too well made up, her hair was perfect, and her clothes were immaculate. No way could she just have had sex, as she did look as if she was going out for the night. This did not compute. The blonde was lucky as the cab number could not be read, the same for the tag. She knew she would need coffee. She would need to watch the other side of the motel and see when the woman would return. Relying on the camera to cover the other approach. She was glad it had not turned cold. There was a chill in the air, however, it just helped to keep her awake. At 2:30 a.m. she called it a night and went to her room. The blonde returned by the other door. She was back by 10 p.m. Not knowing for sure if she was in the room, Julie thought she was. She would let the camera get her leaving. But there was no footage of her leaving, and Eric checked out and went to work. What they did have was enough to make Eric explain who the blonde woman was. That was what Marianne needed to do, confront him with the proof that the blonde was caught. She called Marianne. "Call Eric, tell him you were able to fix the problem and will be home today. In fact, you should be home by lunchtime. If he leaves before lunch, then he might be trying to hide the evidence in that suitcase. Get home and be there when he gets home. He will see your car and have to leave the suitcase in the trunk." Marianne said, "It would be better for me to just go home than call him. You keep an eye on his car, let me know when he starts to come home." "You are sure the blonde is on camera?" Julie said, "Yes, but something is off, can't explain it. If I did not know about the other way into the room, it could be how she left, but I'm sure she did not return to the room that way. It is a mystery. Meet me at your house and we can both see where he goes." Marianne was home when Julie made it to her house. She gave her friend a hug. "He will have to explain the blonde woman. You have the proof she is real." The other woman, Marianne, was quite mad when she saw the blonde caught on camera. Eric did not leave work until quitting time and came straight home. They could see him pause. He looked at the trunk and went right to the house. She did not give him time to think. "Eric, is there something wrong with our bed? You did go to a motel yesterday and you only worked a half day." Eric thought no way could she know, until he saw Julie. Lawyers would often use PI. He knew that he had been caught. "It's not what you think." Marianne said, "Blonde hair on the pillow, the odor of perfume that I do not wear, and the blonde woman at your motel room. How long have you been seeing her? Why do you have a suitcase in the trunk of your car? Answer me, now." Eric said, "I'm not having an affair, there really is no other woman." "Well, you might think that. Yes, she is blonde, however, it is a wig. I'm the other woman. The suitcase is what I used to become her. Sorry, I never knew how to tell you." Julie said, "I knew I did not miss her coming to the room or leaving the last time. It was you. Fooled me, thought you were a real woman." Marianne said, "I need a drink, and more of an explanation." She took a seat after she made herself a scotch on the rocks, a double. Eric said, "Yes, I need a drink too." A quick shot of Jack Black, then a double on the rocks. He sat down on the sofa, gathering his thoughts. How to explain something that he did not know the answer to, why was lost to him. All he could tell was when he started, however, why he kept doing it, clueless. He said, "Remember back in high school, I was on the swim team and to be faster I shaved my body. That was not the only reason. It was the best excuse and a way to keep what I found out, which was quite by accident. It was on a break from school, I was at my cousin's farm. I got caught out in a downpour and my other clothes were getting just as soaked, they were hanging on the line." He paused to take a drink, wanting to see if they would make an intuitive leap to how he first got dressed as a girl. "Well, my cousin was a girl, and an only child. Her father's clothes were too large, so she dressed me in some of her things. Her jeans and any slacks were too small. She put me in a dress." Marianne made the leap. "You made a big deal about being a boy in a dress. She made you look like a girl in a dress. Am I right?" "Yes," Eric said. "I was amazed that I did make a nice-looking girl, and I had to try it when I got back home. Of course, it took quite a few attempts to get the hang of makeup. what were my colors, how to find out YouTube makeup tutorials. I could not stop. Every time, I would try to get rid of everything. I would just end up having to acquire new clothes, makeup, and shoes. I decided that I could not stop, and it would be cheaper to admit the truth of that and save money. I could stop for a while and then I just had to do it again. I kept everything put up till I would need it. Julie said, "Then you must have come up with a name for yourself when dressed as a girl, or did that come later as a woman?" Marianne said, "In a way, you are the other woman." She downed the rest of her drink. "I need more scotch." Eric said, "My cousin gave me a name, so easy. Add an A to the end of my name, Erica. I like it, so I have always used it when I needed to have a woman's name. I started to have my hair removed in college, and by the time I graduated I was hairless. I used the reason that I was so used to being hairless that I could not stand the itching when it would start to come in, and it worked. Then I said I waxed it off, and over time it just stopped coming back. You bought that, so it made becoming Erica easy. I am sorry, I will never be able to stop. Saying I could would be a lie." Marianne said, "I need to think, for now you're sleeping in the spare room." She thought about having another drink, however, it would not change things. This was only slightly better than if he had an affair. "Where did you go and what did you do when you got into that cab?" Eric said, "I reached out to find out if I was alone, and what I did and found out that I am just a crossdresser and a heterosexual. There is a gay bar where crossdressers can go and be safe to be themselves. If one does not want to be with a man, you are not forced. I go there just to have somewhere to go all dressed up and know where to go, except on Halloween when it could be a costume, like Tootsie." Marianne said, "Fine, I guess I should be thankful that you are not dressing to get a man. Go, get the suitcase and get yourself put together. I need to meet this other woman. If we cannot get along, then both of you will have to go." Eric left to get the suitcase. If she did not like Erica, then the marriage would be over. Julie said, "I really did not see this. However, it does mean the other woman is not a woman, yet she is real. I am staying to see this Erica, as I thought she was the other woman." Eric came back in with the suitcase. He held it up. "Erica, we'll be ready in 15, maybe 20 minutes. He went to the spare bedroom and was glad that it had its own en-suite bathroom. He did need to use the toilet and would need to wash his face. Makeup looks better on a clean face. Julie said, "Look at what I saw," as she brought up the right footage on the camera. Marianne said, "I would have thought that was a woman." Having taken care of the urgent need, Eric got undressed. First problem, dressed as Erica, it was like for a while he would become her. She had different looks from everyday to hot and sexy. However, stylish and sophisticated would be better. Would be too hard for Marianne to believe that hot and sexy was not to get a man. Eric was too confused. He did not want the marriage to be over, yet, once he began to become Erica, she would take over. Years of becoming Erica could not be obliterated from the process. Perhaps the split in the thought process was how Erica stayed and would not allow Eric to stop becoming her. Holding the black and lacy bra in his hands, the feminine pull to be Erica was too hard, and he just gave in to her. Whatever mental deal had been made so many years ago, it took over. Erica had taken over. All Eric could do was watch as she turned the man into the best woman she could be. No trouble with the bra, as her fingers knew how to hook it in the back. The tucking of the male member was automatic as the panties came to rest on her hips. After that, no more thought was given to that part, as it never was about sexual gratification. It would be hard to admit once dressed that Eric was even here, but she would have to bring some of the poor guy back, as being all woman with Marianne may not be the best idea. Time was a factor, and this mental fog was not helping. Hopeful that once she was in front of Marianne, some part of her mind would give way to allow Eric to try and work this out. Erica chose the burgundy dress as it was the look not too short, coming to 3 inches above the knees. quickly putting on the pumps to match as there was no time for sexy lingerie. Maybe if this worked out them. Snap out of it, she still had the face to do, and that took time to get right. The only real difference would be how elaborate to make the eyes. Too much and she would be more like a sexy vamp, and tonight was not the night. After the base and face powder, she worked on the eyebrows with just a bit of pencil. Next, the trio of purple plum eyeshadow with the most basic application, light under eyebrows, darker nearest the eyelashes, and the darkest two, and just some contour, a touch of eyeliner liquid for the upper lid next to the lashes, and pencil at the waterline of the lower lids. Finishing the eyes with a coat or two of mascara. Blusher for the cheeks, then outlining the lips with a shade darker than the frosted plum lipstick. Of course, the blonde wig would be needed as they were expecting a blonde. Funny, if the choice of wig was brunette for tonight, they would think Eric was a dog and had different women. A spray of the perfume that helped to out her, ready as she could be, she went to join with the two women in the living room. The sound of her high heels as they made that clicking that only a woman's high heels could make them know she was on her way. She stepped on the carpet of the living room rug and Marianne was first. Unbelievable, you look nice as a woman. Julie was next with, see, I knew I saw a woman, but you are not, and it is so hard to take in. Erica said, thanks, I think. Do you want to talk, or should I leave? Erica walked to the bar on the side of the room and got a shot of Jack Black and made a mixed drink, as Erica did not like doing shots. Turning to the ladies, she walked back and sat down on the sofa, placed her drink down on the coffee table, getting a coaster first. Marianne was quick to say, so real. If I did not know, amazing. How would this work, part-time or most of the time? I mean, how often do you feel the need to be Erica? For a moment Erica was lost, as she felt as she always did. She was Erica, and try as she might it made no sense. Julie broke the do-while loop that Erica seemed to stuck in. Well, if you don't want to leave then, Eric needs to answer, she said. Erica said, fine, I'm not used to trying to remember Eric when I am dressed like this. That would really be up to you, as you see I can become Erica very quickly. Now that you know, if you don't really want to see me as her, then I will try my best to keep her out of the house. However, she is not going away, I told you that already. Marianne was still in a state of shock. Her husband was standing in front of her and all she could see was a woman. She still had to ask, you don't dress as a woman to meet men. Do you play with yourself or what? This is very hard to explain, Erica said. I know that the outside is just a prettier cover than I use at times. I am not that far gone. Eric is under all of these feminine trappings, and he is here and not at the same time. I never have had sex of any type as Erica, I told you that. Eric is a man and only wants to be with Marianne. Now that you have seen Erica, it might be easier for me to think as Eric if I changed back into him, as I have tried to become completely feminine while dressed as a woman. Therefore, trying to access the part of my brain where Eric goes is hard. Most everything comes out more as Erica. I guess I have a bit of a temporary split personality. The mood lightens as everyone laughed at that. Marianne said, Julie, take me and my girlfriend out to dinner, as you are the only one that can drive. Both Erica and I have had too much to drink. Erica turned to look Marianne in the eyes. Out to dinner? With me, are you sure? Marianne said, nope, never been in this position before. New circumstance, and if Erica is not going away then you have to be her for me to get to know her. Erica thought that this was a good place to start.